Greetings, Dr. Joseph Martin here. Erich Fromm loves profit. This is one of two videos for you, and it's one of my ongoing gifts to you and my friends around the world on the most incredible, amazing people, women and men, historical figures who are great mentors and models of what is best in humanity and how we can learn from their life story and also from their great ideas that are perennial ideas. Erich Fromm lived as a man who was a German psychiatrist, psychoanalyst, a social psychologist, a sociologist, a political philosopher, and a democratic socialist. Now, Erich lived between the years of 1900 and 1980. I was fortunate enough as a young man when I was training as a psychologist to read almost all of his many works, well over 30 books. And he had a profound effect on my life and my interests and my life path and my own story personally as I was growing and maturing, but also on what I have put out to the world in terms of the bases of what human nature really is. I know you'll find this very intriguing, and you may want to look at all his books, which are available online and also in PDF form as well. One of the basic things about Erich Fromm is that we would say that he was the one person who spoke about love as the basic center point of human nature. Not many, in fact, very few psychologists speak about love in those high terms. Perhaps there are a few others like Jung, Maslow, and Frankl, and others more recently. But, 50, 60 years after Erich Fromm wrote all these books in the 1940s and 50s and 1960s, his books are among the most well-read today and most popular, in fact, are in over 34 languages. Why is that? It's because we know intuitively that our quality of love and our competence in being love and giving love is what makes us unique and what gives us hope and meaning. Now, there are many things that he brought as a sociologist and a social psychologist to the world. And the first one would be the concept of being and having. And that's the title of one of his books, To Be or To Have. Actually, it's To Have or To Be. And in this book, he says, what are the basic qualities of a human being and what is it we search for in our lives, throughout our lives? Is it to have things or is it to be someone? Obviously, in our materialistic, reductionistic society today that's so capitalistic and all the marketing and advertising forcing us in some kind of a way, in a commonality and a banality to just have things, is hidden and buried deeply the deeper notion and the need of us as humans to be. And the search for beingness is the one focus that I've always come back to in all the videos and of course in my own personal life. And the search for being and becoming is really the key to life, isn't it? So Erich Fromm focused on this, and he asked us to question ourselves about what it is as our focus and our intention and our goal in our life. Is it to be, and of course for him it's to be love, and to be intelligent, and to be free, and also to share? Or is it simply to have? Now, another interesting paradox that he talks about, because of course life is always a combination of binary paradoxes and complementaries, as I've shared in all my other videos. And another one is security versus freedom. Security meaning the unconscious or the egotistical need to feel secure in an outer way with money or job or home or car or relationship or whatever it is, clothes, whatever it may be, versus the hidden, inner, deeper meaning or need and drive for us, which is to be free. And more of that in the second video when I describe what it means to be free from something and free to something. Also, he talked a lot about social character, and he outlines this, and I will go into that more in my second video, and character orientation. Now, he says there are four non-productive kinds of character orientation that come through assimilation and indoctrination, socialization into the particular society that we're in. And that we all have to conform to this way in order to fit into society. Otherwise, we can be shamed or thrown out, or there are many psychological, social, and political means to reject people from society that wants to make them conform in order to fit in. And what are the four non-productive ways of character and character orientation? Well, the first one is this: it's receptive. This non-productive way of being receptive is just to accept whatever comes to you, accept whatever you're told, you're taught in school, whatever your parents or religious or political institutions tell you. And it's non-productive because it's totally impersonal and it has nothing to do with who you are as an individual. The second one is exploitative, non-productive character. These are the people that you know in the world, and there are many kinds of them, who like to exploit other people, and they get their sense of security and their sense of power or force, if you like, from exploiting other people. Now, this can be in any way. It can be sexual exploitation, gender exploitation, work or career-based exploitation. It can be all kinds of exploitation. It simply is a non-productive character formation that Erich Fromm has noted, and it definitely is obviously something that we all know about. The third one would be hoarding. Hoarding is a non-productive character formation, and many people at all times in society, but particularly in rough economic times, they tend to hoard. They hoard cars, homes, land, clothes, shoes, food, friends on Facebook, whatever it may be. And this is a non-productive character formation because it's a compensation for a deep inner lack of beingness and identity and purposefulness and meaning. Now, another one, the fourth and last of the non-productive ones of character formation is actually, interestingly enough, marketing. Now, Erich Fromm wrote about this in the 1950s and 60s, when after the Second World War there was a burgeoning need for advertising and marketing, all of which Marshall McLuhan has written about in all his many books. And this has gone to the extremes now here in the 21st century, when everything is advertised and marketed by these so-called experts. And Fromm says this is, again, non-productive character formation, where experts pretend that they know it all, whether it's on TV or radio or the spam emails that you get from so-called experts in any field. And these people are marketing their services, their products, their knowledge or information, because actually we'd say information, because knowledgeable people wouldn't be doing it this way. And this has become a pandemic in our society. It's the whole world is trying to market one another, and obviously you know the frustration you get when you know you're being marketed to. So marketing non-productive character formation. The only productive character formation, according to Erich Fromm, is this, and that would be to utilize love, which is a leveler and equality that kind of shares and supports with one another, as it was in a circle, not a hierarchy. And reason, meaning thinking for yourself, so critical thinking and individual thinking for yourself, so non-compliance with the indoctrination of society and its institutions. And also, within all that, he shares the fact that this is also about productive work. That is, you have to find your own unique productive work. What it is it that you learn or yearn to do, What is it, your deepest heartfelt goals from childhood and or now that you can bring up, resurrect from the unconscious in your past hopes and dreams and goals and bring it forward. And the productive work that you put into making a life for yourself that's full of integrity and honesty and purpose and meaning and passion with great love for yourself and what it is you serve or give or do, but it's about the beingness in yourself that magnetically will create a new productive work and life for yourself. The only meaning, the true meaning in life, of course, is when you have found what that is for yourself and you live it with great love, compassion, and energy and vitality and joy. Now, Erich Fromm spoke a lot about championing love. All his many inspirational books, although they're very scientifically psychological and sociological, he expresses the fact that we'll only be happy when we know that we're loving. And it's not just the love for ourselves or the connectedness to other people, but it's for many other things as well. And particularly the joy, because we're all social beings, in going out and meeting people and sharing your love and your joy with them. In fact, every individual you meet, and on another social activist stance, through your care and your love and your concern for all humanity, however that takes you, but in a free, democratic, loving, empowered way, whether it's through any ACT UP groups or whether it's Occupy movements or these days, in the last 2 days with the UN meeting in New York now on climate change. It's a global meeting all day long today, and the groups that are demanding worldwide through all the different marches that we've had in 300,000 people in New York City on the weekend, and every city and town in North America and around the world is up. This is what it means for humans to take back their freedom and to have a social movement that will create the freedom for ourselves as a brotherhood. And this is a big point for Erich Fromm. His notion is that we all are one brotherhood, sisterhood, and we can and will co-create a better, peaceful society for all of us. But it takes all this that we're mentioning here, the love and the freedom and the joy and everything else. And he said that there are 8 basic principles or needs that every human being has. And here's just a few of them. Here's just 6 of them here. These would be the need for relatedness with one another, the need for transcendence, to go beyond the prison of your mind or your socialization or your station or your class or your caste, and to transcend that. And he means that in a spiritual way as well. Rootedness within yourself and groundedness, but also within the nature around you and within your social community. A sense of identity. This is extremely important, and every psychologist would do well to point to the very core of our being as looking for our sense of identity and building on that. Unity would be another one, and finally, effectiveness, that whatever your life is, it's going to be effective and garner the positive change that you know that you need and can do. Erich Fromm, in all the things that he shared with us, and in the biographies that I've been reading about him, it's very clear that he is a completely authentic and real human individual. And he had a spiritual path in his very, I would say, an Orthodox Jewish rabbinic tradition, well-read in all these fields, and yet a follower of Meister Eckhart, whom I just did a video on a couple of days ago, in which he follows Meister Eckhart in showing that the superconsciousness of the spiritual knowledge that one gets through prayer and meditation and so on will lead one to one's sense of identity and one's ability to be and to love. But just in closing for now, I'd like to tell you just some of the titles of other books by Erich Fromm that you can look for. Escape from Freedom. In the English version, it was called Escape from Fear. To Have or Be, The Sane Society, The Nature of Human Destructiveness, The Art of Loving, The Art of Being, What It Means to Be Human, or it's called On Being Human, which was his last book in 1997. The Dogma of Christ, You Shall Be as Gods, and there are a few others here. A book on the comments on the ideas of Karl Marx. So, in closing now for this one, you'll want to tune in for the second one. And again, I ask you to like and to share these videos that you are listening to and watching. If it means something to you and it inspires you in any way at all, please do share them with all your friends around the world, wherever they may be. It is our time when consciousness is rising, and are connecting here around the world, and we're so lucky to be able to do that now in a free way, and that we can support one another. And my wish and my goal and my path is to share with you all that I know, the little bit that I know, and have you pass it forward to your own family, your friends, and your community, wherever they may be. So I wish you all love and blessings. Dr. Joseph Martin, Om Namah Shivaya.